Studies, also at Adeyemi Federal University of Education, right here in Ondo City. It's so nice to have you join us on this very important day.
Yeah, welcome as usual.
Yeah, so we are having feedback already from the field. A lot of the candidates have cast their vote. The governor, Aida Tiwa, has cast his vote. That is for the APC. Agbola of the PDP has also done same. Over his deputy has done same. And of course, over the SDP candidate has cast his vote also, and reports from the field actually made us know that accreditation started very early, and as early as 8 a.m. they had already started casting their votes. But we want to take a look at citizens' expectations, as events unfold today in in Ondo, which is a very, very important decision-making day for for Ondo citizens. I want to start with you. Expectations, citizens' expectation, and of course the reality that accreditation started early. And again, we have the report from the IG, who actually made us understand that everywhere is peaceful. He's gone to the north through his movement, round Ondo and Akure, as it were, Ondo City, then Akure, the headquarters. There's been peace all through. So I really want your take on citizens' expectation, because you're right here in the city.
Yeah, madam, hope is always the consolation of the common man. Expectation, if people are hopeful, there's no doubt about it. People are hopeful that despite the hardship in the country, there is still an array of hope to be, to be brought to the people through this electoral process, irrespective of the parties concerned. Does not necessarily matter, and that is exactly what makes people, to troop out, to enfranchise themselves, to satisfy their yearnings and aspirations. That let us do it the way it is being done, so that it will be. Because whether we like it or not, if we leave it, it will do us no good. So the expectation of people is that by trying often, the monkey learns to jump from tree to tree without falling. So let us try this. Let's vote according to our conscience. And I'm so happy. I also came out and I visited some of the polling stations. Accreditation had started as early, and to the best of the way I have seen it, then the beavers works very well. The presiding officers, the police orderlies, and those that are there, they conform themselves with the rules of the game. So the expectation is nothing short of peace, and that is exactly what is being noticed.
Now, Mr. Itodo, that's a very hopeful way to start the show this morning. I would really want your take, if it's the same as what Dr. Mojeje has said.
Yes, I have no diverse opinion from what the Dr. Mojeje has said. You see, expectations are in two forms. We have short-term expectation and long-term expectation. In this election, the people of Ondo State are hopeful that the short term, that they are going to comport themselves in the most organized and civil manner, which they have already started, 8 o'clock, because everything has been going on fine and will continue until the end of this election. That's the short term. So that there will be no election crisis at the end of the program. Then the long-term expectation is that when the right person is voted in, regardless whatever political affiliation, we do hope that the dividends of democracy at the long run will be delivered to the people, so that the lives of the people can be improved. So those are the expectations, the voters have. That's why they came out.
Yes.
Without expectation, like the doctor said, nobody would have come out. When you lose confidence in the system, you may not want to come out. So they came out because they have confidence in the system, So the dividends of democracy also must be delivered at the long run.
Okay, so like we've seen, you talked about the beavers. It's important for us to like make a little bit of comparison here. Of course, the information that we got from the field attests to what you rightly said, that the beavers are working very perfectly. Now, what is the implication of this, vis-a-vis incidences that we've had in other elections where we had issues with the beavers, and of course the fact that the IG also have spoken about peace, because there are a lot of speculation about how today will play out, during the election. Apart from the hope that you talked about, there were other expectations. But now, the results or the reports that we've gotten from the field seem to be one of peace, to the extent there's an attestation from the IG saying that all the places that he has gone to appears to be very peaceful. We have that on tape with the IG actually saying that from the feedback we got from the field, and of course the agents saying that the beavers are working, no issues. What are the gains for the election coming out of this in this election?
When everything goes on normally, the end result will be good. And I don't expect anything short, like I said the other time. For example, this is not the first time that we will be conducting election in Ondo State using beavers. Yes, there might be teething problems, such as the one that manifested during the 2023 presidential election, that the beavers didn't work. Yes, it might be the first time that the beavers is being introduced. The hiccups will be there, but like I said, even now, that by trying often, the beavers have been tried, the beavers have been improved on, and ordinarily there will be there will be a little delay in something. For instance, I voted in my own Unit 16 in Adeyemi voting center. It took a long time before I could be captured. In fact, the presiding officer, they have to change themselves. Another one came again, and they changed my direction from left to right to this.
Just to capture,
but it captured me.
Eventually.
You see, I was laughing. I said, people doesn't know that I will be on air to analyze this election.
So you were just observing and taking notes because you were coming here.
Exactly. If the beavers had failed to capture me, then definitely you know what I would say.
Exactly. So you'll give us the details.
I will give the details. But the beavers did not fumble. It sometimes, weather differs and the way you position yourself. So that is exactly what is happening. It will be like that. But eventually, the beavers are working very perfectly. That is one. Then one of the expectations of people during election is that there will be ballot snatching, there will be chaos, there will be pandemonium, there will be this and that. It is always part of the game. Even if it will happen, it will not happen in all polling stations. It will happen in one or two places.
But we've not had any report. Yes, even the IG has confirmed
that is one. Then two, the kind of euphoria that people are now does not call for violence. Not everybody is satisfied. I could say people are hungry. And, a hungry man will do nothing but to satisfy his hunger. And one of the ways of satisfying one's hunger is to enfranchise oneself and put in place structures that will enable food to be coming to his stomach. Somebody says stomach infrastructure. That is everybody's goal.
Stomach infrastructure.
Yes. If you are hungry, you won't be here. If I'm hungry, I won't be here. And if I'm not sure of the food I'm going to eat in the next 3 days, let me tell you, if you call me, I will say, let me find food first. So that is exactly what is happening. So the expectation that there will be chaos, there will be pandemonium, has been doused by our law enforcement agent, epitomized by the Inspector General of Police.
Yes.
He came, he said everything is going on smoothly. And it will continue to go on smoothly.
That's our desire, most
even
definitely.
in the area where that is prone to chaos, it will be played down.
Played down.
There will be no chaos.
No chaos.
Out of every 12, there will always be a Judas.
Well, the personnel are on ground to ensure that Judas is caught today.
The thing is, one bad apple doesn't spoil the whole bunch.
Well, that's a new one. That's a new one. I've never heard that before. so I want your reaction to, probably you have more to say on the fact that this election is peaceful and the beavers are working, and we have confirmation from the IG that so far there's been peace, or there is peace.
This is a very good start from the IG, the Inspector General of Police. You know, when a leader comes to assess and tells you this is it, it helps the morale of the followers. Even those who have this mind, criminal minds of doing something against the norm, who have to check themselves, because the leader has spoken and actually leading by example. So I give kudos to the IG about the beavers, and I do hope suppositions are not reality, and they are not the reality on ground. What is playing now is what matters. So the suppositions, suppose there is violence, and maybe people thinking like that, it will die inside them, because there will be no such at the end. Then the second phase of it is the beavers. Beavers has nothing wrong in itself, because computer is garbage in, garbage out. If there had been like the 2023 election, as said by my doctor at my right hand there, you see, the problem associated with beavers in the 2023 election was not the making of the beavers or the beavers itself. So the human beings behind it, those who are the operators, you understand? So the knowledge you have to operate a machine will determine to what extent you are going to make use of that machine, or the advantages you are going to get from it. So the faults or the defaults or the gains or the pains you get from using something, especially when it is electronic and gadgets, it might not actually be the gadget. It might be because of the extent to which you can. Like this handset we are using, there are some people who don't know the usage or the uses or the importance
of certain features. Yes.
Not Android now. I'm talking of iPhones than just to make calls. Whereas there are some that will make use of it to turn the whole world around. Yes. So everything depends on. I think at this point about beavers, we are improving, because the report reaches from every side of the corner of this state, shows the beavers are working, like our doctor said.
Yes.
He actually,
he was actually there. Yes, so he was able to capture. Yes. So
the beavers, I think, as we continue in this country, we continue to master the game of the beavers. Now we have a better.
Yes. We're going to come back to the beavers again, based on what Doctor said, to the fact that initially it was difficult, but after different angles were taken, different movement, it was able to be captured. Do you think that probably most incidences that we had in the past, where people complained that they had issues with the beavers, they couldn't be captured, is probably lack of patience from probably the electorate or the agents on the field who would not, because you had the patient, or they had the patient to tell you to try different angles before you were captured. If there was no patience between you and the agents on the field, probably the story would have been different. And do you see this as probably, can we attest that this may be part of what happened in the past, where they had issues with beavers, and of course, if it hadn't worked for you because of patience, the result would have been, oh, I couldn't cast my vote because we had issues.
Yeah. you know, experience matters. And they say if each mistake is a new one, it means we are progressing. Then it was the experience. It was being introduced for the first time. And whenever you are having an opportunity to speak with an Englishman for the first time, you are going to have history. So there is no doubt about it, because the NASA pronunciation of their weddings are different from ours and the way we hear. So when you try to speak with them in their own tonal language, you will have history. So if you are using something you have not used before, there will be hiccup. That explains that experience is what played out then. Whether they call it is INEC, it is people, it is the experience. You know, it is as a result of experience that have been garnered over the years that make them to say, okay, please come and do it again. Whether the thing we hear your language. Then it was a person that was saddled with responsibility of monitoring it. He won't give it to another person, and he did not have the required maneuvering experience to maneuver. To work.
Yes, because of time, because we're going for a short break to take our next package, I just want to talk a little bit about the candidates who have come out to cast your vote. Again, a lot of people thought that the candidates, you know, will take a little bit of time before coming out to cast their vote. They will want to observe before, probably come out late to cast, but they want to observe how the election is going before doing that. But the reports reaching us this morning from the field is a testament that that is different, probably because of the peace that we experience. The governor has cast his vote, like I said. The SDP candidate has done his, the PDP and his deputy, they've done that too. So I would want a reaction on the fact that the early birds, they came out early, and of course the results are coming in.
Yes, that's on a good note. And for electorates coming out to vote in time shows, like what I said earlier, that they still have bright hope. We all still have hope that this is our state, this is our country, and we have nowhere else to go. And in the past, political ignorance has made a lot of electorates to sit back. And when they sit back, the few ones can make the wrong choice and they rule over those who sat back. And then they endure whatever pain they have to. And that's why they cannot blame anybody for not coming out. I think people are getting politically, every day, politically enlightened. So this enlightenment now makes people to come out to vote, which is good. And I do hope that this will continue throughout the election, so that the best candidate will emerge and be able to give the dividends of democracy.
That is the desire of everybody, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, you've heard Ondo say it, and I'm asking again, do you think it's the peace that we're experiencing during this election that has made the candidates come out this early, the core people, because usually the expectations will be, you know, they'll take a little bit of time to observe. Would you attest to the fact that the peace may just be the reason why we're having all this feedback right now? Because a lot of them have actually done that.
Politics is an institution. In an institution, we teach, we learn. And every day we learn.
And we've been told that we need to take our break now. Now, 18 candidates were cleared for the race according to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Of course, we know that Governor Aida Tiwa has cast his vote as along other candidates this morning. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we shall be taking a look at Ondo Election 2024, analysis of INEC's conduct of elections 1999 to 2024. We'll take that break, and when we return, the conversation will continue. Stay with us.
Free and fair election allows people living in a representative democracy to determine the political makeup and future policy direction of their nation's government.
Yes, INEC is an impartial commission that you carry out elections and the results will be out even before they've counted and all this stuff. I believe no. I don't believe.
A free election is one in which all citizens are able to vote for the candidates of their choice, and a fair election is one in which all votes have equal power and are counted accurately. And in the Ondo election, the same is expected by all and sundry.
I do not expect anything from them because I believe that I just believe they can't. There's nothing seriously in this country. The way things are being run, it's like there is a status quo that they need to follow. It's like something has already been done before we carry out our elections. You understand? So I do not expect anything from them.
To distribute voting materials early enough, without any hitch of any kind, to conduct election, to man election, and put competent hands there. To announce the result promptly, and so on and so forth.
The phrase "one person, one vote" is often used as a shorthand for free and fair election. The principle of one person, one vote means that every person has the ability to vote, and each vote has equal power.
They should go out, like I rightly said, and vote them as they shouldn't stay indoors. They shouldn't say there shouldn't be political apathy. When masses fail, when voters, registered voters, competent voters, when they fail to go out and exercise their franchise, that is political apathy. I don't expect political apathy. They should go out and vote.
I would just say, to be factual, I would just say they should come out to vote for their choice and not let anything personal, just so as not to cause any dispute and fights between these youths, the way they used to take things personal and cause thefts and riots and all this stuff. So I believe they should just come out and just vote for their choice, because anything will still, whatever they've decided will still come up. So they should not waste their lives and their efforts. They should just come out to vote if they are willing to.
For the entire duration of the Ondo election and beyond, all Ondo voters are asking for is transparency and integrity from INEC. Free
The concept of democratic election is one of the most important developments in society, and citizens play a pivotal role by ensuring they participate 100% in electing the leader.
We are preparing now, Abby. We are preparing because the election is our right and we must vote. We must vote for our choice.
I think that we are preparing very well now.
We are preparing. We're preparing. I'm not preparing for any election because there's no election.
One must also point out that the experience of Nigerians with election since independence has been challenging. Election violence stains the white fabric of expectation of a free and fair outcome.
Yes, my opinion is that they should give us more security so that people can come out to vote for their choices, and because our vote is our right. If we see security, everybody will be rest assured that we are safe.
Very sure. Yes.
Yeah. There will be security, and there's always security.
Additionally, voter education is necessary tools in enlightening the electorate so they are made aware of their ballots and the credibility of political candidates at a glance.
They should come out to campaign for us, more awareness to campaign for us, so that they should tell us what they will offer us.
We are begging them to create awareness so that we individuals will come out and vote so that everything will be better.
What I think we can be done is we should come out and vote for the person we like so that everything will be better than this. Not that we will stay indoor and be saying, so we should just come out and vote for the person that our mind choose.
Improving voters' education starts with accessible information through local engagement, informative campaign in schools, community centers, and health facilities, which can create a strong foundation for awareness.
Welcome back to our live broadcast right here from Ondo City, where we bring you all the activities happening as the election, is underway right here in the state. Now, on the election 2024, we want to take a look at analysis of INEC's conduct of elections 1999 to 2024. Now, the administration of democratic elections in Nigeria dates back to the period before independence, when the Electoral Commission of Nigeria, ECN, was inaugurated in 1958 to conduct the 1959 federal elections. The Federal Electoral Commission, FEC, established in 1960, conducted immediate post-independence federal and regional elections in 1964 and 1965. However, in December 1995, the military government, under the leadership of General Sani Abacha, established the National Electoral Commission of Nigeria. And in 1998, General Abdulsalam Abubakar's administration dissolved the National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, NIGCOM, and established the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. INEC then organized the transitional elections that ushered in the Nigerian Fourth Republic on May 29, 1999 to date. Now, we want to take a look at INEC from 1999. I think we should start from 1999 till date. We want to take a look at their conduct, and of course we're using the Ondo election as a backdrop. I will want your take on that as the election is ongoing right now.
Yeah, there is no way that the INEC has been conducting election, especially in Ondo State, since 1999, when this dispensation started. And I don't think it has been marred with riggings or any other things. It has been smooth even up till this present moment. Day in, day out, measures were being introduced in order to prevent the mistakes of yesteryears. And there has always been improvement. The election that brought in the governor Adebayo Adefarati in 1999 was conducted by INEC, and I think it was a seamless election. The AD, PDP at that time, so it was obvious Adefarati will win because of the fact that people wanted a situation whereby the old politicians will be brought into the system in order to stabilize what people have thought to be a thing that wasn't good. And then people were fed up, whether we like it or not, of the military. So that was what brought about Adefarati. And Adefarati himself at least did what he could before he lost to Olusegun Agagu in subsequent elections. That Adebayo Adefarati lost and considered defeat is a testimony to the fact that there was a kind of seamless transition, even from one political party to another political party. But from Olusegun Agagu to another Olusegun Mimiko, yes, they went to court. And it was as a result of the fact that, well, people see Labour Party championed by Olusegun Mimiko then as a new entrant into the politics of Ondo State, judging from the fact that it was a 3 months party that snowballed into such. But if you look at the situation, then you will see that it was a kind of multitude, a tumultuous, ovation of the people. It was like an organic molecule. People tuned in to vote. If you look at it at that time, Obasanjo said then that the election will be a do or die affair.
We'll definitely get to that very soon.
and I participated very well at that time. I was a presiding officer at Ajegunle in Ward 2.
Okay.
I was beaten black and blue. I was escaped by the whiskers. It took the grace of God for me not to be killed at that time. It was really a do or die. So, but the judges, the judiciary came in, as the consolation of the common man. And at the appellate court, Mimiko won. And then he established his Labour Party, brought what he wanted to bring, and then eventually it again went away to the coming of APC, and we have been seeing the legacy of APC as is being played out now. So this is the second, I could say the second time that another APC is aspiring to take the mantle of leadership. Because whether we like it or not, the last 1.5 years of Ayedatiwa until today is an elongation of Oluwarotimi Akeredolu's tenure.
So how? So in your own. So how has INEC in all of this mix actually help propagate the desires of these candidates who eventually got the mandates that they wanted?
The INEC that the INEC is still surviving up till this present moment is a testimony to the fact that they have lived up to the expectation.
Do you agree to this?
Yes, no.
Please let us understand the yes and no.
Doctor said they've been living up to the expectation of the people. But when you ask most the citizens of the nation, they will still tell you that INEC failed in some aspects, and so we have the critics and the criticism from 1999 till now. Actually, like what my doctor said, in 1999, Adifarati came in, and there was less competition against him because of the tiresome military works in the past. But after him came Olusegun Agagu. It was during Olusegun Agagu's time that people began to. I want to tell you something about social change. Social change happens at first when something changes. People will embrace it holistically without looking at the pros and cons, because they are already tired of the former one that is going to an extinction. It is when everybody now conveniently sits down with the new invention that they begin to check the motive of the person leading them. That's where you now have acceptance or rejection of change. That's what happened at the time of Olusegun Agagu. During his time came Olusegun Mimiko. Now you will see the competition and a little healthy or whatever rivalry that brought in electoral court, because that's an improvement. During Adebayo Adifarati's regime, I don't call it regime, this is not military, this administration. everybody accepted because they saw it as a better option for the military. They have just come out from. Then, now democracy in transition. They have to look at, okay, what are the areas of flaws in this? And then Olusegun Agagu came. Mimiko came like both from the blue, like what my doctor said, just came very fresh, then with a freshly named political party. And that was the problem of we, the citizens. Sometimes we always think something new may not give us anything except the old. And that's that problem again. We always think the old gray-haired men will always do it better than the young blood. But the incoming of Mimiko and every other one, because you said we should particularize it, at least for the state especially, because of what we're having now. Yeah, and all over Nigeria, we discover that when the young ones are now coming in, there is this stress between the old ones and the young ones. But we thank God that when this happens, when competition happens, we get the best. Now, the court issue came in during Olusegun Mimiko. That was when, in the first history of Nigerian democracy, we now have a case whereby somebody lost, and it could be lost to somebody coming, and because it was taken to court, and the court was fair enough to judge, because like my doctor said, there was massive support for the person who was coming. That also shows a lesson that Nigerians know what is good, what is bad.
But you know, you said something about INEC. You said good, you said bad. You said the citizens, not all the citizens will agree to what the doctor said. I would really want you to tell us that.
Good.
The flaws of INEC.
Flaws.
Yes.
That makes you to say no.
Yes. The flaws of INEC then, you see, INEC was just coming up because of the military experience. So INEC just came up. It wasn't that INEC had not existed right from a time immemorial.
The names just changed.
They were just changed. We call it FEDECO. Was it not FEDECO?
From FEC to FEDECO. From FEDECO to NIGCOM.
And then NIGCOM.
NIGCOM.
Yes.
National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, brought in by Abacha. And it was from FEDECO to NEC, National Electoral Commission, during Babangida. Then from NEC to NIGCOM during Abacha, and from NIGCOM to INEC.
So all this transition,
all these
I want you to
transitions.
So that,
yes, all these transitions. You see, INEC. It was later that they were being accused of money inducement that now makes them to make some kind of unaccepted, generally unaccepted pronouncement of who won, who lost. You understand? All these kind of things started coming. That's why I said not all citizens will applaud the fact that INEC actually over the years since 1999, as we are on now, to date, did everything that should be done and accepted by the people. We always have the those who are in support, and they have each person has his own views and reasons, and we will consider those reasons. We can come to the middle court and accept that this is where we are. So INEC also should still continue to improve, because every human being continue to improve. They are not perfect.
So for Ondo State, what's your take on the preparations? What do you think?
On INEC?
Yes.
No, you see, if you look at it from inception, those that were made to man INEC were men of high intelligence. Professor Imiawa, Professor Humphrey Nwusu, Professor Ephraim Omakushi Abata, and Mahmoud Yakub. They are men of no mean stature.
Well, I wish we could go on, but we've been told that we need to take a break. When we return, we shall be taking a look at elections in Nigeria, impact on electoral malpractices on democracy in the country. We'll take that break to bring you our packages, and of course, let you see what is going on the field in Ondo as the people come out to cast their vote and decide who serves them in the next 4 years. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
result of a free and fair election is a major feature of democracy because it gives legitimacy to the government, and it is a prerequisite for positive socio-political development in any given society. Nigeria's political history is replete with unpleasant cases of election rigging, a different kind of politics where people come to power by all means known as do-or-die politics.
Do-or-die politics in Nigeria context is the politics of force, politics of selfishness, politics of few people, autocratic people making sure that their will has a way amidst majority decision.
But this issue of do-or-die affairs, the mission and the objective behind going to that place to serve the citizen is what people don't really understand. If you're really going there to serve the people, it won't be a do-or-die affairs. Imagine me call me to you, to call you, to come and help me do some farm work. You will not be happy to do it because it's a tedious work. But because of what you gain from doing that job, you now want to do it at all costs.
Like any other human behavior, perceived election rigging can be influenced by a number of factors which may be internal or external, short-term or long-term. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, electoral malpractices are palpable illegalities committed with a corrupt, fraudulent, or sinister intention to influence an election in favor of certain candidates by means such as illegal voting, bribery, cheating, and undue influence, intimidation, and other acts of coercion exerted on voters.
It impedes economic progress. The economy will not be stable because the people will always be angry at you, the ruler, because they know that you forced yourself on them. Now, we have disobedience to constituted authority and to the law and the constitution of the country, of that very country. Nigeria, not an exemption in this discourse. What do we mean? Do or die politics will not make the people to be loyal to the government of the day because they do not want that man. Whether the man came in through bribery, through corruption, through, money laundering, or just distributing, just buying the conscience of people and using talks and eliminating opponents, everything still boils down on the fact that people will not take that leader serious. Even if it does good, it will not count to them. Number 3, it brings political apathy. Political apathy is hatred toward political affairs, anything called politics. The youths may not want to hear anything called politics.
As Nigerians, we must realize that falsifications of results, fraudulent announcements of defeated candidates as winner, with or without altering the recorded result, is electoral fraud, while the illegal interference with the process of an election to bring about a desired election outcome shall be tantamount to a rape of democracy.
Do or die election, so we make sure that the wrong candidates emerge and begin to rule, so that those who don't really have enough prowess and ability to change things, not make good laws or bring out good things that can help shape the country, move us forward.
It may not be able to survive without addressing it. It's like you have some weeds on top of your house and you are cutting it at the head. It will also germinate again when rain comes. But when you uproot it from the root, then you solve the problem once. Until we are able to address this one, it is then we can have or practice what is genuine politics in Nigeria.
Welcome back to Ondo Decides studio right here in Ondo City. This moment, we want to take a look at another aspect of, the electoral process in Nigeria. And this time, we're taking a look at impact on electoral malpractices on democracy in Nigeria. Now, the conduct of free and fair election is a major yardstick for measuring the quality of democracy in a country. Credible elections provide a platform on which the populace partake in democracy by electing representatives of their choice as public office holders. Now, we want to take a look at how malpractices, electoral malpractices have marred our democracy in the nation. Again, we want to narrow from 1999, well, maybe till date. I will want your take on that. We want to narrow.
From 1999?
Yes.
How election malpractices
has impacted our democracy.
Well, we are just talking of it's like varieties of the same muffin, because can you remove election from its malpractice? It's part of it, though it is not good. It is not good. But can we define election malpractice? Because gerrymandering is part of election malpractice. That is inducing people to vote for you even when election has not started. No, has not started. This what we call stomach infrastructure is election. If it is that kind of election malpractice, every political party does it. Because every political party will always want to give certain incentives at the time that is nearer to election in order for you to pay. Some will do discreetly, some will do overtly. Some will say, well, it is not money I am given, it is food that I am given. Oh, this party is giving food, and you know the polity is heated up. Everybody, like I said the other time, quid respect, nobody rejects things if it is offered. And the way we are people. So election malpractice, if it is played to the open, it is not good. But every politician partake in it in one way or the other. For instance, now, who is not politicizing? Even in the polling station, polling unit, people will still clandestinely say, please vote for my this, vote for my this, vote for my. But it is only those that are caught that people will say they are thieves, they are this, they are that. What of those that were not caught? Yes, we usually hear of a ballot snatching. It's part of election malpractice. I told you the other time that during the election of was it 2007, that I was beating black and blue, and my ballot box was taken away. So that's part of election malpractice. I got there. One man, probably because of what he wore, a charm and all those kind of things. And the man said, presiding officer. I said, yes. I said, see, everybody here, I want them to vote for this clinical. I said, sir, no. Nobody is voting. Let them vote according to their conscience. He was eating cola nut. He said this thing. I said, Baba, don't say because of the juju you have. Give me that cola nut. I will eat the cola nut and put it in my mouth and let it. I said, if you say you have juju, me also am juju. Don't tell me all this kind of thing. Sooner than later they came. All of them, they were saying beat him, but I was escaped. So that's part of election malpractice. There are some that have paid supreme price because of election. God forbid bad things shall not happen to us. The thing is, for what? At the end of the day, or upon what? Upon power. That's what everyone is after.
As transient.
Well, it was transient, but people go out of their ways to do all things to attain.
What I can say that is that election malpractice in whatever form is bad. If I say I want to rule and I am aspiring for a position, it shouldn't be at the detriment of others. I want to.
Now, talking about election decisions certain people take that could be detrimental to the general populace, which we are talking about now. In your opinion, how has this impacted democracy?
Electoral malpractices has destroyed, let me just go direct, because the foundational or conceptual meaning and what it really entails and the descriptions has rightly been analyzed by my doctor here. But the impact is untold. The havoc is much and has brought us to where we are now. Ranging from, you see, when I said it some time ago, that there's something we call future will. Future will. Future will means you start something an insignificant, very minute or recognizable way, without considering the blooming and the blossoming consequence that may later, vibrate on everybody. It's like somebody being lazy. You just see him, it's just laziness, living. That laziness will transfer, if not curbed, into what we call poverty. Poverty will lead into stealing. Stealing will lead into armed robbery, because stealing is still armed robbery. He will be caught. After being caught, charged to court, from court to prison, from prison to be fired. You see, laziness. So that's what electoral malpractices does. When somebody is giving money induced, giving 2,000, 5,000 to cook and vote, cook as what you call the bukosibe, cook and cook soup and vote. So when that one happens, or other methods, now it will make people to vote against their conscience, and the wrong leader might emerge. When the wrong leader emerges, you know what happens. That leader will first of all try everything he can to make sure that he recovers all he has spent to give people during the time of election. And while he is busy doing that, he will no more take care of the facilities, use the same money to do all the other things, provide good life for the people. And before he will now think of taking of helping that is providing those things, 4 years is gone. It begins to clamor for second term, and that is what happens, and it brings political apathy. That's why people are discouraged. Most people, most citizens do not want to always go and cast their vote, but the people who are not interested in voting should be asked the question, why did they get induced? These are questions, and when there is no development, it will affect economic development, political development, education area, the health sector, everywhere.
Is affected.
And yes, will be affected. These are the impacts, and it makes us a Lilliputian as a nation, and as a state. Ondo State, God forbid, might be a Lilliputian if the wrong choice emerges because of electoral malpractice. Lilliputian, the other dwarf of Congo, among many nations. I'm sorry that I'm mentioning a particular nation.
You see this time.
So these are lots.
Let us go to the specifics. You are only delving on just one aspect of malpractice, that is monitoring.
No.
The fact is, in all the nations of the world, there is no election that is thorough.
Yes.
There is no election that is thorough. At a time in Rome, Emperor Caligula wanted to elect his horse. Let me tell you, I know this kind of thing. A horse.
Okay.
He preferred to elect his horse, Emperor Caligula of Rome. Now, look at the election that brought Donald Trump to power in the first time. Do you know that they linked Russia into hacking some of Hillary Clinton's votes? And he nearly lost in the court. But for the wisdom, you see, America is an embodiment of a total democracy. They know all these kind of things. Tell me the leader in Africa. Tell me the leader in Africa that is free from all these things that you are saying. Recently, I had a record of 50 African politicians that are billionaires. Let me tell you, they are presidents and governors.
But sir,
the thing is, If you want to talk about electoral malpractice, it shouldn't be monetary involvement alone.
So what else?
Gerrymandering is one of them.
What does that mean?
Gerrymandering is inducing people to vote at a time when it is not legal. I used to tell you, during election, we are in a polling booth. I will be asking you, please, this, please. Even if the person is your wife, you should allow him to vote according to his conscience. That is one. Then when you are saying electoral malpractice, let me just give you this. There was a time during the stoppage of the slave trade, they went to the Obi of Abo, probably in Agbo. They asked the Obi of Abo and said, come, Obi, stop slave trade. You should stop slave trade. He said, no problem. If the British stop demanding for slaves, selling, then I also will stop giving them slaves. Because slaves are his articles of trade. And that is what he profits in. You are asking the medicine man to produce drug to be used by a lunatic.
You are not begging
the lunatic to take the drug. That is it. So let us go to the definitions of electoral malpractices. It has a multifaceted definition, and you will discover you cannot test it. You only need to, play it down. Yes. One of the examination, one of the electoral malpractice that we are saying is the issue of beavers. They could be manipulated to suit the purpose of a candidate. But look at it now. It has been tailored towards, it will capture. There is no way in which it will not capture everybody.
Sir,
the best election so far conducted is the one conducted by Babangida Option A4.
You agree to that? Well, you want to add
yes, I agree. The beavers you are talking about, sir, doctor. The beavers has been improved upon to capture exactly what is happening and portray the picture as it is. But like you rightly said, there are some human beings can be manipulated.
Yes.
The results can be paused. Yes, can be paused, like what happened just of the 2023 election.
But do you know that nobody is debarred from covering when election is being counted during polling booth? You can use your phone to count, and immediately do you know that every aspirant or every candidate has a collation unit of his own, and he has an agent
who monitor
the election and send feedback
back to him.
Is that not part of
well, our time is up for this particular segment. Our time is up. If you just joined us, it is our live broadcast of Ondo Decides 2024, reaching you right here from KAFTAN Television International. We'll take a break, and while we're on break, we'll bring you we want to let you know that we have feedback on Honorable Agbola Ajayi casting his vote. We have the Ondo Rec, Oluwatoyin Babalola. We also have PDP governorship candidate Honorable Agbola, right?
Yes.
And also voting exercise ongoing at Akpoi Ward 2. So we'll take all of that, take our package, and when we return, we shall be taking a look at voter apathy, which we believe is a threat to democracy in Nigeria. We'll take that break. When we return, our guest will still be here. Stay with us.
Apathy to politics in Nigeria is distinct from political alienation in the sense that the Nigerian youth feel like the political system does not work and may not work for them, and any attempt to influence it will be fruitful exercise. It has also been proven that there is a lack of interest, concern, feelings, or emotion towards political admiration or ambition, which can be tracked back to so many factors.
The group that you find after childhood and before adulthood, it may range between let's say the teenagers, 13 to 19, up to about 40 or 45. The categories of those people in that age bracket can be defined as youth. Now, the second question you asked, what is their apathy? Why are they afraid of joining politics? My brother, if I ask you this question, are you in politics yourself? Do you think you can go into politics anytime soon? Then those things that scares you probably will be the thing that scares other youth. First, violence. You see, political violence, most of the elections we have in recent times are all accompanied by one level of violence or the other.
Apathy means a lack of interest in doing something, or cold shoulder towards doing something, or total abandonment of something, or we can say partial hatred or animosity, what pisses somebody off. So youth apathy to politics is a term used for youth's non-relevance in political matters or political activities.
When it comes to political apathy in Nigeria, as regards the youth, it is actually very real, and I think it's affecting our political development in the country.
Since post-independence, Nigerian youth have continued to show low level of interest to political affairs, and part of the problem may be traced to economic hardship, unemployment, political powerlessness, political meaninglessness, political disappointment, and among all, empty promises made by political leaders.
Because of the political environment in Nigeria, if you go to some climes, you see the youths are encouraged to come. I would not want to take it 100% line and both hook, line and sinker that they don't want to join. From the 2023 election that has just been conducted, 76% of those newly registered voters, the people that registered are new, are fresh to exercise their franchise.
So the causes, one is why youths are not interested in political matters. One of it majorly is fraudulent election. You understand? When the election that brings out the elderly into politics, like the governors, the National Assembly, the House of Rep, even at the base level, which we call the local government at the grassroots level, to bring the government right down to the people at the grassroots.
Number one is insecurity. Insecurity. When you are not secured as a result of you performing your civic responsibility, then you have to jettison whatever that political process is involved.
Meanwhile, it has been argued that the rippling effect of youth apathy on our nascent democracy has left a loophole in governance, which can be felt in the areas of national development, insecurity, bad governance, political instability, bad international reputation, fraudulent acts, and many other aspects of criminalities.
The long-term effect will be that we will not have anybody who is a youth who knows the political climate of Nigeria, since they are not part of the system.
Number three is unfaithfulness to political vows.
One of the effects is that we will not develop. We will not develop. And not only that, we will not have the best brain to man the different sector of the economy.
Analysts have concluded that government should pay more attention to youths because it's one of the best ways moving the nation forward and improving the life of the citizens.
The government should recognize the place or placement of the youth in her own national affairs.
The use of social media is a great weapon that is used, that can be leveraged on. Use of social media to mobilize, to orientate, to a kind of tell the youth that they have a lot to contribute to the development of the country.
It is also believed that political education, putting an end to age people in government, promoting political relationship, promoting free and fair election, and engaging youth with political ambition would encourage this demography to engage more in politics towards building a better nation and a better
Yes, welcome back from that break. Like we told you before we went on the break, we shall be taking a look now on voter apathy, which is a threat to democracy in Nigeria. Now, democracy is the world's most accepted system of government, and core to the practice of democracy is citizens' involvement and active participation in civic and political matters. Therefore, it can be argued that citizens' involvement in their governance and decision-making at all levels is a necessary tool to sustain a democracy. Now, this brings us back home to what is going on right now in Ondo State, which is the fact that citizens are out on the street voting. Again, we want to find out if you believe that there is voter apathy in this election, and if there are, what are the reasons for that? Not just in Ondo, but generally, it is believed that Nigerian youth have this apathy to elections and, in fact, politics as a whole. So I would want you to let us understand the root cause or causes of this apathy in our history. And of course, we're using Ondo as a case study.
Yeah, people, you see, this political apathy could be viewed from two perspectives. First, the number of voters does not, in any country, even in America, the last concluded in Donald Trump and Joe Biden,
Kamala
Harris election. The number of voters does not reflect the actual population.
That's true. That's true.
It doesn't reflect the actual population. So if you are defining apathy from that perspective, is there no apathy? Because if the population is 100 and those who participate in the election are only 3, so that's it. But you could say the people are apathetic to voting or politics. If there is a wide margin between the number of elections or voters in one election and the other one. For instance, if the number of those who participate in election this year is far less than those who participated before, you could say there is political apathy. But if the number outweigh the other one, there is no political apathy. Let me tell you, people get education, people get enlightened by the day. And people want new things because novelty, transience, and diversity are always present in the world. Everybody wants new things in a diversified way, not knowing that all things are transient, and that is exactly what is happening. So we could not naturally say there is political apathy. Some people might be disaffectioned because of the reason best known to them. They may not want to vote. There are some that I talk to and they say they are not going to vote. Look at the hardship now. Look at the situation. Yes, but I told them the hardship is rain. It does not rain only on the head of a particular set. It is a thing that permeates all the people. And it's a gestation period that has its own period. It will, this time, will also go away.
It'll pass.
If you close your eyes because bad person is coming, when good person will come, you may not know. And that is it. So, political apathy is a thing that one should be very careful about. For instance, now, in some local governments, votes may be more than the other local governments. In one polling unit of 500, 300 might vote there. In another polling unit of 500, 100 might vote.
Might vote there.
So will you say there is political apathy there? So that is it. But generally, if people are apathetic to voting or to politics, it will not do the country or the state any good. because bad persons that you may not want may actually come.
So I wanted to take it up from there because again, INEC actually made us understand that over 2 million registered, but again about over 1 million were accredited to vote, and out of that over 1 million people, probably not all of them will vote. So Doctor has already said that when people don't come out to vote because of certain sentiments, then they are given room for, again, the people they don't want in there to just ride in there comfortably and sit down. So I would want to take on apathy, generally in Nigeria.
Voters' apathy or electoral apathy is like what I used to say, is a disenchantment. When the personal disenchantment against the ideas of the government and the election, in an election period, that's part of it. Is not voting, not encouraging others to vote. Number 3, discouraging others to vote. Now, not voting, that is practically, I'm not doing it. You may not do it, but you may leave others to do it. Then poisoning the hearts of others not to do it. Then galvanizing and just making everybody to see the government of the day in bad light. But when you see a madman shooting at his mother, you don't just summarize and suppose. Ask him. He might tell you some kind of stories that will actually make you to know that you don't need to take him to the psychiatric hospital, because without checking up what has happened, that's part of the constitution of Nigeria. That's for example, principle law. You have equality before the law. We have nobody part of the rights, freedom of a citizen. You can't judge somebody when you have not checked up. Now, political apathy or voters' apathy is just simply when the citizens are discouraged by themselves or are discouraged by other people or jointly agree not to participate in electoral matters. Now, what causes it? One, the system, the process itself. The system of a government or the process of a government, democracy itself can cause it. With the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, where people make decisions. So when there's no force, the constitution is another thing. Then the examples of those who are there now, if the people who are at the seat of power make wrong decisions and do things that should not be done, it discourages others. Then lack of dividends of the lack of dividends of democracy.
Maybe you should just
lack of dividends of democracy. The manifesto.
Are those things manifesting?
Yes, so political manifestos now are political promises given at the stadium and podium at the time of a campaign. So all the campaign promises. Do you know that there are some learned people that will take Bible and be writing that thing that I will create heaven and earth. I will make a light to be. I will make darkness to become light. So some are writing. At the end, nothing shows. That may discourage the best of Democrats.
But it has not discouraged. That's what I'm saying. It has not discouraged. You see, all those manifestos
that are not fulfilled.
After the man won the election. Discouraged people from voting. People still vote, despite that their yearnings and aspirations were not met.
Yes, sir.
The madman that you made allusion to the other time is already mad. You don't need to take him to psychiatric.
That's what it's called. You have not checked up. We may check up and discover it's not actually mad.
No,
that he intentionally did what he did because there are reasons.
There are 3 stages of lunacy. We have simple malady. Simple malady. You may just be laughing. It's just simple malady or elementary insanity. Before you get to permanent state of lunacy, that person that is shooting his mother is a complete madman. You don't need to just look at him. He is mad. Take him to arrow. The brain is demented. So the thing is, all those promises, yes, politicians in Nigeria, politicians in Ondo State, they have not met even half of their electoral promises. That is another topic, because why I said that is another topic is that the political party that they are championing, does that political party have a manifesto?
Yes,
because
they have.
They don't have manifesto. If they have
many
manifesto,
of them
they will not be cross-carpeting. Let me tell you.
But political parties must have manifestos.
They must have.
Another thing, it's one thing to have manifesto. It's another thing to actually play to it.
Yes.
And
look at
ensuring that the manifestos,
legal manifestos are not political promises. They have their platform.
Look at that. The manifestos become live by ensuring that the citizens enjoy or get the dividends of that which you said will come to them.
Look at the United States of America.
Oh God, that is America.
Let me tell you, it's a country and it's on earth. And Nigeria is borrowing some leads from the United States of American system of things. Let me tell you one thing. Do you know that they changed from Democrat to Republican during the time of Trump first time? They again changed to Democrat on his second time and changed again to a Republican and Trump the third time. You see, when there is a thing like that, you know there is sanity. But people, because they have changed to Trump's Republican Party, those in Obama's Democratic Party did not naturally delve into.
We have an update from the field. According to a report just reaching us, a suspected voter buyer was arrested with a bag of money by the officers of the Department of State Services DSS in Akure South local government area of Ondo State during the governorship election. The individual was caught with 2 bags of money believed to be intended for bribing voters at Ward 4, polling unit 007 or 7, outside St. Stephen's Primary School in Akure around 9 a.m. on election day. Now, this move aims to prevent voter inducement and ensure the integrity of the electoral process. So this is the report we have now. I want your reaction to this.
Thank you. We really have to applaud the security agents for
law enforcement
to have apprehended this kind of person. And that is part of what we are seeing. There should be no reason why you should carry a bags of currency to force me or convince me to vote. Vote is a right. It's part of my fundamental human right.
Even hold 1,000
naira. So it means I've been discouraged or I don't want to participate again. That's why you are now using other methods to enforce me or play on my emotion and my intelligence to go and do what I naturally do not want to continue to do, and which ought to be done because it's a right and constitutional for me to do. Now, we check why am I discouraged? Why was I no more interested? Or am I presently no more interested? That's what we are talking about, apathy. Now, the money these people get to vote, they are not actually voting. They are not helping democracy. They are only trying to survive. But I pity them. The givers and the recipients, the recipients. I pity them because when they get this, they still suffer for the next 4 years. And I'm talking here, I'm encouraging the masses. We should look at the long-term consequence of what we are doing now. Both the bias of election and how do I describe them now should be nabbed. And if they are nabbed, part of what encourages political apathy is that many of these people, when they are caught, we only hear that they have been caught. Later, they might be released. And we may not hear of anything again. The heavy consequence of the law must be brought, the brunt of the law must come on the offenders. Electoral offenders, we already have laws that guide election. Punitive measures for those who break those laws. Bring them to book. Deal with them with the law so that it will serve as deterrent to those who might want to repeat something. And this will stem out apathy.
It is even in the court. It will be just a be remedial. Where there is wrong, there must be remedy.
So when this happens, we have a better democracy.
You know, I said it the other time that out of every 12, there must always be a Judas. But one bad apple doesn't spoil the whole bunch. Now, the Judas came and he was not.
Well,
but the Judas must be driven to a point that others will never try it again. Judases that are left untouched, like some special eggs. Imagine to even contest election after.
Well, we're rounding up on live broadcast right here from Ondo. So we will be joining our Abuja live broadcast very soon. But again, at 4:15, we might.
Accountability and transparency help create the better policy, improve public service, and stop the abuse of power. Without accountability and transparency, democracy is impossible, and their absence, electoral choice and election lose their meaning as an expression of the people's will. Government becomes arbitrary and self-serving, and policy benefits the ruling elites, not the people.
To me, no one can say he's happy with the present government we are running in Ondo State, because there are famine, there are inflations everywhere. No one can say whatever amount of money is having is sustainable to him or her.
The present administration has not done anything good. That is the truth. They have not done anything good. People are suffering under this government. People are hungry under this government.
I'm not happy. Yes, why would I be happy about it?
The abuse of position or power or privilege for personal corporate or enrichment or benefits is a general indicator of whether a government is accountable or serving the needs of the people.
I can say the Nigerians and the citizens are partially responsible, because we are I can't say we, because I wasn't part of those who elected the present governor on the state. But most of the people, the reason why they are responsible was because once they were given a token for them to vote for the governor that is on state, they did, of which is wrong, and that is what put us in a place where we are.
We contributed. We contribute. In the sense that most of us collected money before we vote.
To me, I think it does not bother them.
The right to know also includes transparency of the government, so that the public can be aware of the decisions made, how they are made, and how the government carries out those decisions.
Every Nigerians are asking for the transparency from the government, but it's left to the government. Maybe they are ready to give the citizen the transparency they are asking for, because even there is no Nigerians that will not ask for the transparency. But once the citizen has the government on how transparency they are, do they even give us what we are demanding or asking for? No.
Transparency, there is no government that is giving us a transparency. They are not good in that area. They are not good in accountability. Ondo State is collecting 30, up to 13 billion in a month. Let us ask them, what have they done with our money? No food, no security, no potable water, nothing. We're moving from problem to problem, from hunger to hunger, from insecurity to insecurity. They did it to an extent that even farmer cannot go to the farm to farm again because of insecurity in the land.
In conclusion, in a democracy, the principle of accountability holds that government officials are responsible to the citizens for their decisions and actions, and they act in public interest, not their self-interest.
Welcome back, and thanks for still being there, following us on our live broadcast on Ondo Decides 2024. Now, off-cycle elections, we want to take a look at it because the Ondo State election is one. We'll take a look at implication on democracy in Nigeria. Now, off-cycle elections held outside the regular national or state election timetable are an intriguing and influential aspect of the electoral process. In Nigeria, as in many other countries, these elections can have far-reaching implications for both local governance and national political trends. Ondo is one of 8 Nigerian states that is holding an off-cycle governorship election. The others are Anambra, Bayelsa, Edo held theirs, which you all know, Ekiti, Imo, Kogi, and of course Osun State. We want to take a look at the implication of off-cycle elections on democracy, and of course the peculiarity of Nigerian system. And ironically, Ondo State, the election today is one of such elections. Again, I'll start from my left with the doctor. Off-cycle elections in Nigeria, your take?
Actually, madam, I personally don't like it.
Why not?
Yeah, because it gives room for many things.
Such as?
Okay, look at it. This is a situation whereby the whole party machinery is centered on one state.
But that should be a plus, sir.
It shouldn't be a plus.
It's a plus.
Elections should be held simultaneously. There shouldn't be off-cycle elections.
But there are issues that lead to off-cycle elections.
It was an issue. It was an issue that brought it up. But the issue there are supposed to be ways and processes in which it will, be subsumed into others. Ordinarily, you see, this is a situation whereby the whole party machinery, the whole governance, you can imagine now, if it were to be all states having election, what will Edo be coming to do here? What will Lagos be coming to do here? You see, there are times it will amount to a situation, and it has always been like that since it started. The party at the center always dictates, and the governor of that party always win. If PDP will be at the helm of affairs, if it is APC that will win. And look at Edo now, that was predominantly a PDP state. And we will definitely a winner will emerge.
Definitely.
And sooner than later, Osun will come. Osun that is predominantly a PDP. And then probably APC will win again. And by the time the tide turn and a PDP person or another party person is at the helm of affairs in Abuja as president, before you know what is happening, all other off-cycle election will be garnering towards, and then the party will be dictating. That has always been the thing, unless you want to tell me it is not with proof. It has always been like that. But if it were to be, it's supposed to be done, then look at it. If all states were having election simultaneously, the amount of money earmarked for those states will be the amount of money earmarked for all other states by the parties. Not that states will ask to dole out money to go and overwhelm a state, and that is why you are seeing this kind of this money being filtering. If it were to be an election that is all encompassing, which is not off cycle, the amount of money earmarked will be the amount of money to be done. So that's it.
No, so Mr. Itodo, I want your reaction.
Yes, I think doctor looked at this from just one side of the, I mean the
off-cycle election.
One side of the off-cycle. Looked at it from one side, and I mean the disadvantages attached to it. But apart from that, we should note here that off-cycle election didn't just start deliberately. Actually, it started with election tribunal issues and the court judgment on 1 or 2 elections, which means the states, all the states, the 8 states that are having off-cycle election in Nigeria now have been bedeviled in one time or the other with election crisis at a point or disagreement in the result pronouncement that led them to election tribunals, which after somebody had to win the court. And it now altered the dates where other, when you remove it from 36, other 28, the rest of the 28 states now have the elections with the presidential. They're running concurrently. Now, check that. Well, as bad as those disadvantages are, which doctor mentioned, we still have the advantages. Where you supervise a candidate, for example, in an exam, and there are 3 supervisors supervising 3 candidates, the possibility of them stemming out or reducing examination malpractices to the barest minimum is guaranteed. And that's why it is very good when all eyes watch and take care of a baby. And that's even cultural in our Yoruba parlance, that only one person gives birth to a child. The whole lot of people take care of him together.
Who is supervising the election?
Now,
is it all the parties that are supervising?
Sir, I'm coming, sir. Now, when you see a state having off-cycle and like the whole nation is watching now, and the Inspector General IG, the Inspector General of Police, IGP, in Ondo State, present as we are talking. So he will be able to look at things with discreet eyes and make sure that things go well than when he is at Abuja overseeing 36 states at the same time having election with the presidential. So there's no how you have better election, more peaceful election. You discover that these 8 states since then, most of the 8 states now have been having seamless elections. And that's what we are seeing here. That apart from what led them to the court, tribunal, and after that, the rest of the elections have been so peaceful.
Oh, so what of Osun?
No, like what you said.
They didn't go to court.
Like what you said in every 12 there may be Judas.
No, what I'm saying, you said since then. You said since then.
Yes.
There has not been a case like that.
No. I said many of the states. I said many of the states. Majority, 70% of the states affected have been seamless. So, and they always do their things without any problem. And until the announcement of the election, you seldom or hardly hear of such crisis.
Now, talking about off-cycle, I was trying to trying to understand the fact that off-cycles are not something that are usually planned for. Certain situations,
never planned for. Situational.
Yes,
yes,
situational that will make, you know,
situational that could be corrected.
In what ways can it be corrected? Because you did mention that number one, you don't like off-cycle elections because any situation that comes can be corrected. If the situations can be corrected, it will actually lead to the elections that we're having right now, or because, like we've noted that 8 other states are caught up in this. Some have been held, and Ondo is doing theirs today. How do you change?
There could be elongation of tenure. It was not elongation of tenure at that time. In Ondo State, Agagu was supposed to spend 4 years. We conducted election. It was litigated upon, and then he spent 2 years extra. To correct that, there could be legislation. It could be legislated upon.
So instead of off-cycle,
you
just do an elongation, like you said.
Yeah, it could be.
Then the plan for the normal election.
Yes, it could be elongation so that it will fall into the general one
instead of the off-cycle.
Yes. But the fear of the government and the governance and the governed is this. You see, there is nothing done in our nation, Nigeria or Africa or in the world over, that somebody else there will not use his or her sense to manipulate it to his own gain. By the time politicians begin to see that elongation of tenure is always given to an election crisis-ridden state that metamorphose them or jumpstart them to up-cycle, they will always want to create a phenomenon that will always make up-cycle.
It is this up-cycle that can create another phenomenon. It is 8 states. There are 8 states now. Sooner than later it will be 10. Sooner than later it will be 12. But if it is legislated upon and put well, that it shouldn't be like that. There are things that could be done. For instance, between the end of the tenure of a governor and when he will be sworn in, tribunal could be concluded from the first court
of each case.
Which graffiti? Which graffiti? Which graffiti? It is those of us that make it to be like that. It wasn't like that before. I know our legislators can do it if the government is still benefiting from the off cycle. That is why they are allowing it. If they are not benefiting from the off cycle, it will have been pushed off. That is it. Anything that the government is not benefiting is very good for them now, because it is a means of saying, okay, well, we are going to use the machinery within our reach to make sure that these states belong to us. So that's it.
So we'll soon be closing Ondo election analysis for now, as our Abuja station get ready to pick up from where we stop. We have just a few minutes to go right here in Ondo, but I want our viewers to understand that after this, after we go to Abuja, the Yoruba channel will pick up from 2 p.m. till 4. And at 4:15 p.m., we'll be back to close the analysis studio on Ondo Decides 2024 right here in Ondo City. So we want you to stay with us and ensure that you follow the details precept by precept. So I really want you to come in here and react to what Doctor has said. He's talking and insisting on elongation rather than the off-cycle election, but you're saying something different. I don't know if you eventually saw his side of that take.
Yes, you see each of these sides, either my side or Doctor's side of what should be about off-cycle election. Is it elongation or should we shrink in order to flow with the...
No, I don't share your view. I don't share your view.
He doesn't like off-cycle.
You do not like off-cycle.
Yes.
Neither am I saying I wholeheartedly 100% accept off-cycle, but I'm only saying that as from the light Doctor is saying it, there are other levels, because if you give 6 years to somebody in order to meet up with the other regular states. There is a problem there. Is there justice in that? Is there fairness? So we are talking of government benefiting. We will now see individual candidates, especially those in seat of power, wanting to create such in order to create 6 years for themselves. Is it the constitution, like what you said, sir? The constitution is now reformed and readjusted to either accept 6 years or 4 years.
So that's what the doctor just said now.
There will be no justice.
He has said now it is 8 states, tomorrow it may be 10, and before you know it's a complete 36.
The whole 36 will be off cycle.
4 years and doctors spend 6 years.
Let it be legislated upon and put in place so that election will be held for all states in one day. Tribunal will be before swearing in.
That's what I want to come in. I think we can agree on this. The agreement is that the tribunal should not unnecessarily waste time where there's no time to waste.
It depends on legislation.
Well, we don't have time.
And make sure that things
gentlemen, we've been told that we need to go straight on now to Abuja. This is where we close our discourse right here in Ondo, but it's not over. Like I said, we're joining Abuja, then we're coming back at 4:15 to close down our station. We want to thank Dr. Ajisola Omojeje, who is a historian and political analyst, for being here this morning.
Thank
and
you,
of course, we want to thank Itoto Simon Ilesomi, a social and political analyst, for doing us the honors.
Thank you.
These two gentlemen will be here when we close the station at 4:15. Please stay with us as we hand over to Abuja right now. Thanks for watching.